Okay, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to configure the static routing in the packet tracer. I'm using the packet tracer version 6.0.1 which I'm currently running in my Ubuntu box. Okay, so to configure the static routing, let us choose the 1841 series router, which is the base router to perform the static routing. uh, Router R1 and R2. Let's name this router as router R1 and this router as a router R2. Okay, the things that you need to keep in mind is that when we do the connections between the same types of devices, as in our case router, this router and this router are the same types of devices which works at the layer 3 of TCP slash IP, sorry, OSI model. So to connect the same types of device, we will use the copper crossover cables. I'm going to connect it in FA0 slash 0, and in the similar way for the router 2 I'm going to connect it in the FA0 slash 0. After that, let us choose the 2950 series switch for this router, and another 2950 series for this router too, because we are going to extend the LAN. And the same manner in the same manners, the connections between the router and the switch is done through the copper straight through cables, because switch and the router are the two different devices, while a switch works at the layer 2 of OSI model and router work at the layer 3. Similarly, in the same manner, we can connect this R2 router and this switch. Okay, let us choose the workstation so that we can test our static routing between these two different networks. Let us define the network. The things that you need to keep in mind is that each router port define each network. So for this router there are two network. We need to define the two network. Let us define the network as 192.168.1.0/24, which is the classy IP address. And similarly, for this port, let us define 172.16.1.4/30 network address. Because why we are put 30 subnet max, because we only need the two IP address, so that slash 30 will be sufficient to provide the just two IP address for this port and for this port. Similarly, connect the in workstations to the switch, same in the same way. Okay, let us put the IP address of 192.168.1.1 for this interface. And for this LAN, let us define the network of 192.168.2.0, and let us put the IP address of 192.168.2.1 for this FA0/1 interface. In the same way, we can find the IP address for 172.16.1.5 for this port, and for this port we can choose 172.16.1.6, and the subnet max for this will be equal to 255.255.255.252. In the same way, let us choose the subnet mask for this network address is 255.255.255.0, and the same goes to this network also. Okay, we are going to configure this router for the first time. So configure the router for the first times. We need to configure them through the console port. Here is the console cable. Just connect it to the RS232, then to the console port. In the same way, connect it here in RS232 port and then to the console port. Okay, let us configure this. Let us put the IP address in FH/1 interface of router R1. To put the IP address, just double click on this router, then go to desktop, then select the terminal tab, then choose the default setting, and I am going to press no. This is the router terminal, and enable configure terminal. After this, I am going inside this port FA 0/0. IP address will be 192.168.1.1. Marks will be to no shutdown. Description connected to slash from router gateway. This is just the descriptions for that port. And let us do the no shutdown. Okay, here we have got the problem. I have put the IP address in FA 0/0, which is the wrong IP address. In FA 0/0, we need to put the IP address of 172.16.1.5, but instead of that, I have put the IP address of 192.168.1.1. So let us correct this problem. To correct this problem, just go into FA 0/0 interface and put no IP address. Then exit this interface, then put interface FA 0/1 IP address 192.168.1.1. Summon max will be 0. Then do no shutdown, do right, exit. Okay, here you can see that this port is on. Similarly, we can put the IP address in FA 0/0 IP port. IP address will be 172.16.1.5. Max will be 252. No shutdown, do right. The command do right will write the our currently writing configurations into the NVRAM, which is the non-volatile random access memory. Okay, let's do the similar way for the R2 router. Go to desktop, then terminal, then OK. No, enable config t INTFA 0/0 IP address 172.16.1.6. max will be .252. Shutdown, do right, exit. Similarly, putting let us put the IP address in FA 0/1 interface, which is this interface FA 0/1 IP address 192.168.2.1. max will be 0. No shutdown. Okay, this is the complete process of adding the IP address in the interface of the routers. Now let us enable static routing. To enable static routing, just do IP root command. The destination network for this network will be this one, 192.168.2.0. max will for that network is 0, and the exit interface for this from this point to this point is from this point to this point is FA 0/0. Exit, and do the same way for this router as well. Just go here, you can IP root destination network for this router will be this network 192.168.1.0. subnet max will be 0. Exit interface will be fa0/0 to right. Okay, you can see the routing table by using the command called so ip root. Here you can see that S means static routing. The static routing launches the network of 192.168.1.0/24. This one by this router launches the address 192.168.1.0 via static routing. Similarly, we can see that in this router as well. So IP root. Here you can see that static routing has been enabled so that this router has learned the IP address of 192.168.2.0 through the static routing. Okay, to check the connectivity, let us assign the IP address in this PC of 192.168.1.2. max will be default and the gateway will be 1.1. This IP address gateway will be similarly assigns the IP address for this PC also. IP address will be 192.168.2.2 and the subnet max will be default. Gateway will be 192.168.2.1. Let us ping this. Let us ping this PC through this PC. Okay, ping 192.168.1.2. Okay, let's see whether the static routing will perform well or not. Okay, first request amount means this PC is asking for this MAC for the MAC address of this port. Second will be this will ask for this MAC port, and third will be this router will ask for the MAC address of this PC. And from now we can see that the static routing has been enabled so that we can communicate from this PC to this PC. Okay, thank you for watching this video.